Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. On my blog, I share how I made my fortune in real estate, buying and selling real estate. Started at 19 years old, millionaire by 28, and that was more than 30 years ago now. So I've been doing this for almost 40 years, buying and selling every year for 40 years. You do a lot of different stuff. You learn a lot of things. And today, I'm going to share with you, I had a Zoom meeting last night with my mentorship, which, by the way, those of you in my mentorship, for some reason, some of it went to, I don't know, some of you didn't get alerted for whatever reason, but be sure to make sure you find that email. And everybody, you guys already have my phone number. Just text me your name and make sure, and I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll get it more personalized. For some reason, some of you didn't get alerted. But I'm going to tell you guys, this is really a good tip. You're going to need to know about this. Look, especially like right now, in the times that we have right now, hey, Lou, you know, you're a little bit concerned about investing right now. It's a little bit frustrating. It's like we just got through this pandemic. We've had a V-shaped recovery. We're holding that same trajectory we had. There's a lot of scare that there's a lot of people. I was actually talking to a guy I might buy his house. I was talking to today. You're talking about forbearance. He's one of them. He's one of the guys that's, he's got the break. They're not foreclosing on him, but it's not going to last forever. And, I think that they're going to bend over backwards to help people stay in their homes. But really, when the interest rate's already 2.5%, that does help boost the value. It does, because people don't say how much. They say how much a month. But we're going to get into that. And, let's see here. I see I got some computer issues here, as usual. But all right, so look, I just went from selling 4 houses, increased it to 10 houses, because I just didn't want to be holding too much inventory if things really take a dive. That's the thing. When you've been through a number of downturns, and I've been through a number of downturns over 40 years, and I call it the tail wagging the dog, where and I'm not leveraged. I'll never be in the situation I was in before, but a lot of times that's what you do when you begin. You leverage, and if you get too leveraged up, then it gets really stressful because you gotta maybe you have a business or whatever you do to make money besides your real estate when you first get started. I mean, I'm nothing but investment now. Primarily, I have some companies, but you get stressed. And unless you really make a lot of money, you can't sustain, people start crashing. I didn't know what the fallout was going to be, but I've escaped. I'm one of the guys that Grant Cardone said was going to suffer, but I did not suffer. I have commercial, I have office, I have industrial properties, and I've been doing just fine. Where it's really the assets that he pointed to, that was, the best asset class and rata. It doesn't seem like it's treating him quite so well, or other people that I know in the apartment business. Which, by the way, please subscribe if you're not already in my group. Please subscribe. It helps the channel. I share a lot of information. But so I had a Zoom class last night, and you guys are going to see this coming. Eric, he just killed it. He's got another fantastic deal. He bought a trailer park. And he also made a remarkable deal. I told him he should write a book. He got a property. He's buying it for about a third of what it's worth. And I said, well, what kind of interest rates you get, Eric? He goes, 0% interest, just payments. Every payment he has applies to principal. It's amazing what he did. I brag when I get a 2 or 3%. Interest rate. When I negotiate something like that on an owner carry, he got 0%. I've never done that. And that's the thing. You got to trust yourself, because I don't care how new you are to real estate or how experienced you are. A lot of you don't know still that there are no rules. You can create your own rules. You can. First deal I ever had, 6-month escrow, 19 years old, buying a property. That 6 months gave me the time to save the 10 grand for the down payment, and that was only because I got to stay in the building for free during those 6 months and no rent. That's what got me the first 10 grand to put down. Anyways, so, but what'll happen sometimes is, you got to keep emotion out of the equation, right? And I'm always tell everybody, you got to know value, because if you know value, then you can quickly say, I'll take it. And so I had a deal, and I go, I'll take it. Well, after, I got it, I'm like, you know what? It's just, there's not as much meat on the bone as I'd like. I'd really want to have a little more room for profit here, a little more room. And I know I could start talking myself and go, you know what, but there's this amenities coming to the neighborhood, and this is happening, and the interest rates are low, and we've had some pretty good recent sales that justify me paying a little more than it's worth. But now I'm becoming a speculator, and being a speculator, I'm really not a speculator. I buy based on today's values, and that's my margin. Whatever I think it's worth today, I'm going to buy it for 30% under that, primarily, or sometimes more. And that's my margin. Well, I was kind of breaking my own rules a little bit. I was a little frustrated because I've been just hoarding cash. I haven't been buying much, not like as much as, I've sold, 6 houses in the last few months. And I have some other bigger houses that I'm flipping. I'm getting out of because they're just, it's time. It's really good time for those. But I still like buying stuff. And so I bought this, I signed a deal, and I'm like, there should be a little more room here. I need to make a little more money. And so you have to come to grips, and, your emotions saying, I want to keep it. And, it's a good deal, but it's not a great deal. And sometimes you don't want to pass up a good deal even, but that's the emotions talking. You got to know that there's always a better deal. And so I was fighting myself on that. And one of the things I tell anybody that holds on to a property, you got to ask yourself, would I buy it for that, right? In other words, if you have a property that's worth $300,000 and maybe you paid $100,000 for it, and it was a good deal when you bought it, well, now you got to ask yourself, I can sell this for $300,000. Why am I not selling it? And if you're not selling it, you got to say, well, would I pay $300 for it? And usually, the answer is probably no. So if you bought it for $100 and now it's up to $300, it's really hard to make yourself, well, yeah, I'd pay $300 for it, and but you don't. And so that's kind of the same thing. When you make an offer, when you get acceptance on an offer, and you got a deal, and you got a little room to get out, you've got, whatever the contingency you might have created. Mine is usually just title acceptable, But you also can find, if you've discovered something that wasn't disclosed, there's wiggle room on a lot of different deals you can do. But so I'm fighting myself because I'm thinking, damn it, I should have got a better deal than this. I should have got a better deal than this. And so I said, the hell with it. And I went ahead and said, called up the agent, seller's agent, and I said, look, I got to tell you, you got to take 10% off. Otherwise, I can't buy it. And I said, I discovered this, and this, and I maybe made these things a little bigger than they are, but I said, there's just not enough meat on the bone. I said, it's not worth it to me. And so I need you to take, another $25,000 off. And I said, this is why. And I go, or we can just close it. I said, I don't want to hold you up. Also, I was also careful to tell the person, I said, look, I don't want to disclose the things that I found. I'm not going to send them to you in an email. I'll leave it to you to explain it or let it off. I go, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't take 25,000 off, then I'm not going to buy it. And I'm going to sign it off right off. I'll close, I'll contact escrow, and I'll tell them to cancel the contract, and we're done. And so it was hard because I'm still getting it for about, I don't know. I was getting it probably for about almost 20% under market, maybe 20%, maybe closer to 15%. So it's not quite a great deal. But I'm weighing that against the fact that things are going up so fast in this neighborhood that I'm like, it's frustrating me. And but I said, you know what? So I took another 10% off. Well, now it's 25% under market. No problem. I'm going to close it. It's a deal. Okay. And she called back an hour later, and she said, Seller said they'll take it. I said, okay, great. I said, I'll even close it earlier. I'll even close it early. And so I was giving them something, which there's a little psychology there. People usually, if you're going to take something off, they want you to give them something. And so I just put that out there. I said, look, I'll kill it escrow today, but if you accept that, if you take this additional 10% off, what I will do is I'll go ahead and I'll close early next week. It was a fairly short limit anyways. And I realized, when you tell somebody you'll close it in 15 days and then, 5 days pass and you say, I'll close it early, it doesn't really mean that much because what's the difference of a few days? But I was just letting them know, I will close it early. And so anyways, I got the signed deal. It's done. So but these are the kind of the tough things, it's an emotional deal. I had, Alan in my class called me today, or he was actually in a Zoom meeting last night, and he's struggling. He wants it. He's trying to make a deal. But you get fearful of the market. What's it going to do? And, I can tell you the only thing I know for sure is that I don't know 100% sure what's going to happen. And, there we go. And anyways, so that's what I want to tell you is your way out is you have to ask yourself, would you sell a property for that? Or in this case where I'm buying it, it's like, why are you buying it? You're here to make money. Let's see. This says we're getting an error. I hope it's still working. I'm getting some errors, folks. Anyway, I wanted to just make this a quick message anyways, but I'll take some questions if anybody's got a question. Let me, where is everything? Maybe I won't take a question. All right. What do you got here? I'm looking at questions here. Airsoft, you can't get in the Zoom. You got to be in the mentorship. Sorry about that. Yeah, well, the reason so I got I think it's Paul. It says, how the hell does anyone know it's 20% below market? Well, if you know your market, you should know. I mean, that's what I do. That's what I pound in everybody's head on my videos, books, mentorship, whatever. You got no value. I mean, it's what you have to know. So believe me, you should know values better than really even the appraiser in town. In fact, all right. Well, anyways, do you guys still see me? Because I'm getting an error message here, says it's not coming through. I'm just assuming it is. But again, if you do your homework, you can. People put this thing in a fast-changing market, and right now it is. People thought everything was kind of going down the tubes. They're getting scared, myself included, selling off stuff. All of a sudden, things are higher than they were than pre-pandemic, and so now all of a sudden. You're right where you were before, except the values are even higher. The interest is even lower. So that means, one of the reasons the recent properties higher is because of shortages. There, where there's like not so bad, but yeah, you got to know value exactly. Oh gosh, let's see what happened here. All right, here we go. Oh, hey Keith, good, thanks. So. Yeah, Keith is also in the mentorship. He was there last night. Exactly, it was funny. I liked your shirt, Keith. Keith was wearing a shirt last night. He was working. We were actually watching him work while we were all in a Zoom meeting. He's at work in the Zoom meeting, and it said, "I fix $7 haircuts." I thought that was awesome. That's awesome. Anyways, but yeah, I was trying to take your apron that said, how I fix $7. I was wanting to make that the front image on, but I'm having trouble with this damn computer today. But so hey, I'll show you guys something just for the hell of it. So look, you guys know my mom has dementia. Well, my mom is still a super smart person, speaks Spanish. I mean, she's always impressed me. But she also killed this. You join the mentorship. Go to FlipAnythingUSA.com and just look. You'll find it on there. And you can start today if you want to. You can. And you'll be in the Zoom meetings immediately when the next one that comes along. So I see a ton of agents who know very little about value. Yeah. And I'm an appraiser and an agent. Yeah, no, that's the truth. Listen, agents, if you get my book, I've got a thing called the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the agents, or I should say 20% of the agents do 80% of the business, and the other 80% do 20% of the business. And now it's probably more like a 90-10. But, business is so good right now. Even an inexperienced agent can make money right now. I mean, if you get a listing, it's going to sell, and then you're golden. So if you can get listings, or even I've always tell people, just be a listing agent. Just because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at finding property and making deals, and so I tell people just get good at finding properties instead of making deals. You just find sellers. There's horrible agents in every state. Believe me, they're not just in California. They're everywhere. And there's good ones everywhere, too, by the way, in case any of my agents are listening. Anyways, mine are great. And I'm talking about all the ones I've ever dealt with. Ever met with an investor? Okay, Matt, have you ever met with an investor that beat you out of a deal? Talk and laugh about it. Do they ever share the deals that they have won and lost? I haven't been beat out like that. Let me put it this way. And this is why, listen, this is the beauty. This is why I share what I know now, is because I'm sharing with people that I don't have really necessarily in my city. I have some in my city now, but, because I can't avoid it. It's the internet, right? But I used to never share what I know because I didn't want the competition, which, by the way, please share and subscribe, but click that like button too, please. It helps a lot, all of you that are watching, all 24 of you right now. Anyways, it's important, whether you're an agent or whether you're, an investor, that you can find people and find properties as quick as you can. You got to network with people. But once in a while. So when I beat somebody out of a deal, it's because I got there first. Usually it's because I got there first. And then the next best thing is to be second, be in second place. And when you're in second place, you just got to push. You're pushing and you're just waiting for the guy that's number one that's in front of you to slip. If he needs more time, you say, don't give him any more time. Here, I'll give you an extra 10 grand, whatever you need. Let's kill it. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. I believe I'm the guy that's just waiting for number one who's in front of me. I just want to squash him and get him out of the way. I want what he's got. He's got the deal. So that does happen. All right, David, now don't be letting people know where I'm at. But that's nice to hear. Let's see. Tom, love to get into the mentorship, learn some negotiation. Yeah, Paul, do it. Just join. I mean, if you're over 18. If not, you're going to have your parents pay for it. Let's see. But yeah, and then listen, the mentorship's $600, which is nothing. I'm telling you right now, it's nothing compared to what you can make. And listen, you get the benefit of 40 years experience, and all the deals that I've done, not just I'm not like one of these dopey agents that's been selling property for 40 years and relaxing, because his wife has a good job or something like that. I mean, I'm an investor. I make a living on it, and I've got some fantastic stories. Watch my videos, you'll see. Making millions, making hundreds of thousands, making tens of thousands. That's why I think I'm one of the best people to train or teach anybody, is because I still do the same deals today that I did, 40 years ago. I'll still buy a property for 50 grand and flip it just like I did back then, and I do multi-million-dollar deals now too, but it's all relative. In fact, what was I going to do? Oh, you know what I did? Well, anyways, here, I'll show you guys something here. So you guys know I'm a cabinet maker by trade, and some of you know that anyways. That was like among my first jobs. And so I've got a lot I've got quite a few properties that I'm fixing up right now. But I'll show you. So I'll give you a little clip of what's to come, of something, a couple of things. I'll just show you a couple of things that are going on. You're kind of getting a sneak peek here. So let me go over here into the main. So this is my, where's my mouse? So this is me and my mom. And like I told you, my mom has dementia. But let me see if I can cue this up in the front. You guys tell me if you can hear this okay. You'll have to bear with me here. I'm trying. So this is me. I got to tell you, my mom, okay, and this is one of the beauty things. Listen, this is another great thing. My mom, I had no idea how much money my mom had, and she did really well. Her and her husband, they both got old. I was trying to get them to, think about assisted living, living in a place. And then they started having troubles. And then my mom got dementia. And I got a sister that took advantage of her. And I started to smell a rat, and I fixed it. Well, in the process of fixing that mess, I found out, in securing my mom's accounts, I go, Mom, I can't believe it. She saved damn near $2 million over her lifetime, and with that's all her total worth. And, unfortunately, some of that got, there's a despicable realtor named Kim in, where is that at? In Napa area. Just an absolute vile woman. Anyhow, I helped defraud my mother out of money along with my sister. Anyways, I put it into it. But it was a pain in the ass, and thank God I have money. If I didn't have money, I would have never been able to save my mom out of that mess. Well, now I got my mom secure. I got her money secure. But the point I was getting at is I found out my mom had saved about $2 million, and she still got about $1.5 million after all the crap that went wrong. But the deal is it's secure now, and now my mom gets the best of care. Now, this is me taking her for a walk, but she, I have people I can afford. I could afford to pay it out of my pocket too. That's one of the reasons I was so happy, because I helped take care of my dad, when he was dying of dementia or of Alzheimer's. Well, with my mom, she had, she's got the money. I just had to protect her money. And now she gets the benefit of having the best of care, Now you're going to see my mom. She talks, and she's funny, and we still have sarcasm. We tease each other a lot, and sorry, I'm not normally doing right. Don't normally do all this right here, but you guys can still see. I assume, right? All right, so here, check this out. We'll play a little of this, and you guys will see. Anyhow, my mom is actually a really smart person. And she's got a little dementia now, but...
Yeah, I'm walking toward a fire.
Anyways.
That's what my son said to do.
Yeah, see.
And she still shares sarcasm with me.
And then the will is all made up.
I think she's my mother. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I look a lot like the mailman, unfortunately. Or the milkman. But anyhow, my mom, she was actually a broker a long time ago. But she made a pretty big investment. It's kind of an interesting story, and I'll tell it and see how much she remembers. But
It's 10 a.m. Just woke up.
so my mom showed me a piece of land that she could buy out in the middle of the desert. I think it was 300 acres. And I told her I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And
Yeah, anyways, let me see here, guys. If you guys can even see that. Sorry, I got a jumbled up mess here. Brother. Oh. So, can you guys hear that and see that okay? I don't know what the heck's going on here. Oh, here we go. I just want to make sure, let me know that you hear that and see that. I'm going to have a video coming out anyhow. But the bottom line is, one of the great things is that, you won't be a burden to your kids if you make some money, because that's really, right now, that's kind of what all people hope for, is they just hope that they can die without, it used to be you're going to leave some money to your kids. Oh, volume was a little low, but you could hear? Low, but okay, gotcha. Thanks, Keith, and everybody else. So, anyways, that's one that's coming. But, and I'm not, Mom's sharp as a whip, and anyways, I just thought I'd share that. That's kind of something I'm working on. It just walked through the other day. But we go on to talk about this, this deal that she came to me and said, "What do you think?" And I'm like, I wouldn't touch that. And to be honest, she actually lucked out. She really lucked out in a big, big way. But by just being able to, I won't spoil it. You guys can come watch that. The other thing I got going right now, and we'll jump over here for a second. And like I say, you guys, you guys know, if you know my history, this is another properties I have that I'm putting in cabinets. Oh God, where am I? I'm all over the place here. So this property here, putting in new cabinets. Cabinets are a big investment. I was a cabinet maker. Single biggest investment you'll make in your home. I mean, the cabinets, because there's appliances and countertops and all that other stuff tied to it. So anyway, so you're going to see I've got a couple of houses I'm decking out there, and then I've got some that I'm peeling the ceilings off of, and just jumping around to different jobs. So that's part of the landlord life stuff that I like to share with you. Some of you are interested in that, some of you are not. And believe me, I know how to do everything because I've been doing it so long, but I don't love fixer-uppers. Believe me, I would much rather buy a property under market that doesn't need a thing. And I factor that in sometimes, When I say I buy 30% under market, if it's a fixer-upper, it just means that I can sell it for as much as 30% more than I'm paying for it. Even if it's a fixer-upper, I'll sell it as a fixer-upper. Ideally, I'll sell it as a fixer-upper. Sometimes, but sometimes you have to fix it up so that a bank can finance it. And, right now the market's so hot in my particular area that, I'm happy to do what I got to do. But anyways, so that's what's happening, guys. And sorry, I'm struggling here because I can barely read what's in front of me too. I don't know where I put my readers at the time. But all right, anybody got a question? And I can take a call too. If anybody wants to, they can call in too. Let me see. There's a number you can call. And by the way, you're going to find out if you take my mentorship, I am accessible. People, when you need help, let me put it this way: you don't get to call me on day one, but when you're getting near the end of the mentorship, when I know you've got some smarts, that's when you're going to ask the best and most intelligent questions, and you're going to be closer to making a deal. That's why the different people that have already made money. It looks like we've got almost over $500,000 between three or four people now since my mentorship started, which was not very long ago, only a few months ago. So I'm pretty excited about that, and that's by their own, calculations. Taking the mentorship, you'll know more than the answer. So Keith took it. Thanks for the kind words, Keith. Yeah, Lou, buy my book if you don't have my book. And then the mentorship's even better. But some of the questions, this is one of the reasons I wrote a book, is because I got so many of the same questions over and over and over again. And they're not easily. I can't text, a 2-page answer to everybody that asks the same question. So, get the book. That's one of the key things. And the other thing is go to my channel, or go to my YouTube channel, and just look for you. I've got a playlist that's deals and different categories of things. You can see properties I bought and sold. Oh gosh, wow! So Keith said that one of his clients just paid $500,000 for a home in Compton, and she wants to add a unit to make it a duplex. Wow. You know what? I know. And it's crazy, Keith, because maybe she didn't. You just don't know. And like I say, the closest place to Compton in quality of life and living, I think, is Lancaster, as we've discussed before. And it's horrible. But guess what? A friend of mine just sold this house out there for $480,000. And, if you guys saw the other day, I showed you a property that I bought for $36,000 and flipped for $52,000, and then I just looked it up again because it was all trashed and boarded up. Well, somebody bought that same building, this little tiny 850 square foot house. Somebody bought that place for $68,000 in I think March, and they've already flipped it. They fixed it up. I shouldn't say they just flipped. They fixed it, and then they resold it for $200,000. And they look like they probably put at least $30,000 in it. But man, did it pay off. They made at least $100,000 on that deal. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Over here in, what is it? Pearland Houses. Oh, is that Pearland? Is that Texas? Where are you at, Carlos? Delta, I can tell you, watch watch my video, how I made $60,000 on a vacant lot, okay? And that'll answer your question, Delta. Because his question is, how do you add value to a vacant land? Let me tell you, I rezoned 50 acres to 24 units an acre, to multifamily. And that made that property so valuable very quickly because, 10, 20 years later, you got the right to do such a heavy density. The city's like more than happy to give you anything you want as long as it isn't as dense as what they had approved 20 years earlier. So rezoning is one way you can add value to a property. I did it also, that $60,000 deal, that was one that I bought. And it's interesting. It's really, look that one up, guys. It's really cool. 60,000. And I was just walking along and I saw the sidewalk ended and I realized, hey, I think there's a vacant lot here. Looked it up. Sure enough, there was. Got a hold of the owner, made a deal, 40 grand, sold it for 105,000, like a month later. And I've done many, many deals like that. And that's the kind of knowledge you need. I mean, really, you just need that firsthand knowledge. And anyways, so get the book if you want to get the book. And let's see. And I apologize. I'm suffering here with don't have my readers. I got some broken glasses. I got half. I don't even know where they came from, and they don't seem to be mine by any stretch. So if anybody wants to call in, and otherwise I'll cut this here pretty soon. But I wanted to make sure that everybody that's in the mentorship class that some of you, there's some people that I know wanted to be there that weren't there. And somebody told me they found something in their spam folder, so I don't know why, but we definitely got to get that fixed. But I'm always available to you. You guys know. In the forum, in FlipAnythingUSA.com, we have a forum. Anytime you write a question in there, boom, I get a notification. I jump in. I'll always respond. And I just like to answer questions within the forum because everybody gets the benefit of the question and the answer. And we're all, it's really cool because we really do have quite a camaraderie now between all the people that have, I'm on my third set of mentees or students now, and so we just got a lot of great guys and gals now in the Zoom meeting. And even if you don't, it doesn't even matter if you're not there, you come back, you get to come back and watch it. It's within the site you'll be able to access it, and it's even chapterized and you can see different things. Okay, let's see what we got here. Golly, I gotta get so close here. Tom, read your book and have audible version in writing letters. I get the part that makes the letter unique. Do you keep the information very general or do you tweak it to fit? Listen, what I would tell you is I would say stick to everything I've done. Don't vary. Don't do any variation of it. I mean, because I can't speak to it. All I can tell you is that I share with you the best information that I have and that I personally still do today, and what I know works. And so when somebody says, "Hey, I've done a few things and I've added this and I did this and I say, okay, but that's not what I'm teaching you to do." So if you get no response, don't blame me. And the fact is I have to tell you, go with what works, and that's what I teach is what works. So, but you'll learn a lot in the mentorship if you got the money for it. You take it, because just the Q&A alone, you'll learn so much from the Q&A. It's because there's just so much. There's just so many different things that can happen, and that I've already experienced. And there's some things I know about that I didn't personally experience, but I know about it. So, anyways. So, look, if you can't tell, it's pretty, I'm getting tired, and I can barely see, and it's Friday, and I'm ready for a drink. So, it's still early, though. But, so I'm going to say bye and thanks, and please subscribe. Really appreciate it. It means a lot to me if you like and subscribe, so please do. And I'll always try to help you if as best I can. And but, man, get into real estate. Get into real estate. It's the easiest money you'll make in your whole life, and it's something that's open to everybody. Listen, you can make far more money than any lawyer, than any doctor. Because you know why? Because you know something that they don't have time to do, and that's the thing. Whether you're somebody that's skilled or unskilled, you develop the skills that I got, believe me, it doesn't matter. I mean, when your attorneys are wowed by how much money you got, then you know you're doing something right? So look, I'm just trying to tell you, don't have any doubt in yourself. There's so much you can do, and the thing is everybody's equal. Even if somebody's got millions of dollars, guess what? Whoever has the deal makes the money. If you have the deal, you have all the advantage. You have the deal. Okay, so you're getting in between what somebody has, the house or whatever, and what somebody wants. Okay, that's your buyer. And now look, who's in between? That's where you want to be. You want to be in between those two. So anyways, thanks everyone. I'm gonna go. So take care and please subscribe, etc.